Call this meeting to order. Would all stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, please? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Can we get a roll call of the members present, please? I am here.
Councilmember Conover.
Present.
Councilmember Diggs.
Here.
Councilmember Graham.
Here.
Councilmember Simpson.
Here.
Councilmember Tucker.
Present. Here. Thank you. First thing on the agenda, Commissioners, new job description. 144, eliminating 3 full-time positions, adding 4 lower-paying full-time positions. 3 of the 4 at $20,020 hourly, work part-time hourly. Now I'm renaming maintenance custodial supervisor to custodial services manager. Commissioners.
Our new facilities manager, Matt Steckley, is ill today, otherwise he'd be here.
Could you have him come to our next meeting, maybe introduce
He'd
and...
be here, but we didn't want him here tonight.
That's fine.
So basically, he had 3 full-time openings, and he moved 3 of our part-time people up into those openings at a lower rate than the people who had been here for a while were getting paid, and so it's a win. Getting the same amount of work for less.
And I understand that, so it's no new money, it's just sort of a, yeah.
No, that's a reduction, that's all it is.
Okay, I like that.
I had the opportunity to meet with him, and he's a pretty impressive guy. Good job selecting who you selected. I mean, he's got buku credentials, experience, and that's a big gain for us.
He's whipping us into shape.
Yeah, I'd also like to point out Mike Jessen on your board was instrumental in those interviews, too, so the council was involved.
And it still went well.
He is an impressive guy with incredible experience and a position that has been desperately needed for a long time. So if this is something that he's in support of and behind in terms of these new folks coming on, then it makes all the sense in the world to support it.
Okay, let's go up to this 144, what's your pleasure?
Motion to approve.
Have a motion, is there a second? All right, discussion, Susan.
And basically, we are adding 1 person, aren't we here?
No, not right now. We had 3 openings.
So, but I'm reading, so you're saying that eliminating 3 full-time positions and adding 4 full-time
I thought
positions. That isn't right?
we were adding 3.
No, that is right, but the salaries, the amount going out for salaries are staying the same.
Oh, okay.
Right.
Yes, then the answer is yes, so we're adding another person.
So the only unaccounted cost is healthcare.
Yeah, healthcare.
Yep.
Okay.
We've got 14 properties that have to be taken care of.
Well, and here's the thing, I mean, I'm not a commissioner, so I don't have to worry about necessarily the day-to-day operations of the buildings, but they absolutely need some,
TLC.
yeah, that's, whatever was being done, whatever system was in place, needed some tender loving care, so it would seem that this is at least a move in the right direction.
All the hundreds of decisions that this board has made over the last few years, this decision is arguably the smartest one that we could make. I mean, it is that good of a decision.
Well, my only point is, if this is the beginning of the year, and I think we all know we have really no money
But we're not
to
adding.
spare. No, I know that. It's just the idea, if somebody else walks in, another department, E911, and says we need another person, are we going to be able to say...
Well,
With the same or less money?
Sylvia, I absolutely understand where you're coming from, and you're partially right, but under this particular circumstance, with the condition of these buildings that are in currently, something has to be done to get these buildings and these properties back on track, and that's what this is.
Well, and honestly, and I also understand where you're coming from, Sylvia, and we do need to watch every penny at this point. You're absolutely right. However, as these department heads look at their budgets, if they can come to us with a reorganization that lowers the money or keeps it the same, I'm perfectly okay with that.
And just to echo what President Whitten is saying, that is our total objective here. And as we come before you, there's going to be some other things we're going to be bringing for you. But the whole goal is to have better coverage, better service at a less cost. And we think we can do that. And so get ready, because we're going to be bringing more things in front of you. We're going to be talking about more things, and we're going to try to be as open and transparent as possible. But we think that we're on the right track to saving this county money.
Right.
And so this is the opening salvo to that.
And I've had some discussions with the commissioners on the back end of our discussions, as I have had, and as many of you have had with some of the other department heads and elected officials. I've asked for them to come up with ways to restructure, reorganize to free up the general fund. That's been an objective that we've sent out to everybody. I think that in my conversation with the commissioners today, this was part of that edict that we gave them. Is that correct?
Very much so.
So,
I guess my only question, good.
that's a statement.
But kind of just serving what Bob said, it's showing that you're a cost savings, but with the insurance, because you're taking part-time people and making them full-time, so you're adding that insurance cost onto it. So, I mean, at the end of the day, are we really saving money, or putting 3 more people?
It's only one new position.
The part-time.
But they were part-time?
Yeah, there were 3 people that left, like, within the last few months. And
3 full-time.
Taking part.
That was early.
You nervous? Are you nervous? You sat up here before, right? Okay, go on. So we had some part-time people.
Part-time people and moving them into those positions. So they're not new positions.
They were full-time and they just promoted part-timers into.
And
Except one new one, so it's probably, you're still saving some money probably a little bit, but...
I would suggest that anybody on this board that's uncomfortable making this decision, call Matt and
I don't think we're
speak with him.
uncomfortable.
So you get...
That's all we're doing.
So you get the idea of just how important this decision is to do something, to address, to use a new idea to address an old problem.
Well, and if I may, maybe some of these conversations weren't, in front of this board, but I understand also that as part of this restructuring, we're going to be minimizing or reducing the amount of money that we're spending for outside agencies or consulting firms or companies, so that's all part of the...
Some of that's coming down the road.
Yeah, that's all part of our bigger plan that we're putting together for you. And some of it's going to be self-performing work that we haven't done in the past, but if you also compare that to what we're paying vendors and outside contractors for emergency-type stuff that, we're at now, there's going to be some savings here. And coming from my background and what I do, I'm responsible for 27 hotels, and we have capital improvement plans 5 years out for each facility. That's what we're trying to get to here. We're trying to get to these buildings to where we know what we have, we know how they operate, and in that, which translates to this body, is better budgeting and better understanding of what's coming in front of us or what's going to fail down the road. It's a process, so it doesn't happen overnight. We have 14 buildings that right now we're in the middle of doing a deep dive on. So more to come, just,
That's, now, what's going to happen then at budget time when we're approached about healthcare? And I think about every year I've been here, we have had to help in covering healthcare with, a lot of it was with the hospital interest money. My concern is you're saying be ready, there's more to come.
More reduction.
More savings. I'm saying more savings is what I'm saying.
Okay.
More to come.
So what do you, I think, hold on. So, what I was talking about was, in speaking with the new, maintenance guy, some of the low-hanging fruit that he looked at was some of the, cost that we were paying to vendors. And in just a brief conversation that I had with him, he was able to identify to me some vendors that we are paying grossly too much to, and that just the idea of putting it out to bid was cutting it to a fraction. So I think what Commissioner Good is telling us is, get ready because there's more savings coming. And I think that it was very much needed. And I will tell you that there's going to be some growing pains. Some people are used to doing things the old way, but in our edict, in our mandate that we put out to the elected officials to free up the general fund, from the commissioners in their proposal, they're sending a message that the old way is no longer the way we're doing things, at least from the commissioner's perspective. So I anticipate and hope that we're going to have more savings. You're looking at Bob. Did you have something that you wanted to ask me, Sylvia?
Well, my concern is the new way, our,
Saving money.
well, that's great. I thought we were doing that every year.
We're not commissioners.
Oh, okay.
Them. Them. We've told them that we're trying to get to the end of this year. We know that our next meeting is to move forward with the foundation. We've all talked about that ad nauseam, so we're gonna free up some more money. But we know that we're not gonna receive the benefits of that immediately. It's gonna take time for that interest to come in. We gotta get to the end of the year. The commissioners are the ones that I communicate with on a daily basis. But we've sent that mandate out. You've got to cut your general fund, you've got to free up money in the general fund, we've got to get to the end of this year, and I think that this is their response to that. That's how I took it.
Pretty much.
So, but you're right, and so you're not wrong in looking at all of these things with the jeweler's eye, because we need to.
Bottom line.
Yeah, and not a bad idea. So, okay. Any other questions?
No, I just wanted to add, besides putting things out to bid, there's a lot of stuff we'll be able to do in-house and pre-planning for. We know this is gonna be needing to be fixed in 2 years. Let's not let it break to fix it, and having so many emergencies, and having to have so many contractors come through the door, reacting to emergencies. I think you're being creatively frugal. Thank you for your effort.
I think this is something that this council's asked for a couple of years, so I'm glad to see it finally coming to fruition.
Here we are.
Here we are. All right, well, that sounds like great. We're all on board. Well, I guess we'll see if we're all on board. Can we get a roll call, please? Negative.
Whatever it takes. False positive.
Councilmember Conover?
Yes.
Councilmember Biggs?
Yes.
Councilmember Graham?
Yes.
Councilmember Justin?
Yes.
Councilmember Papadar?
Yes.
Councilmember Rivas?
Yes.
And Councilmember Webb?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We'll be back with more to share.
Saving money, right?
Did you get the chance to sit down with Matt?
Yeah, I would take the chance, so.
And if you could have him come maybe to our next meeting, he could kind of talk a little bit about what he's got.
PowerPoint that he's...
Yeah, that's our next meeting, we're actually gonna...
Oh, we got rid of Slinsky, we don't want no more PowerPoint.
Sure.
Okay. Well, that was fun. I know. We got a reduction, 2,250 claims from 1110 salaries, from 144,36,250 to 34,000 maintenance manager, reducing the salary to entry-level compensation. What's your pleasure?
Second.
Motion and a second. Questions, discussion? It's all pretty clear. Hearing none. All right, roll call. It's not even on the agenda. Roll call, please.
This is for the reduction.
Yes, that would be what it's for.
I just want to point out, we didn't have this reading of the addition.
Well, it wasn't on the agenda, so we're gonna go back, but thank you, but I'll handle that.
On the reduction, Councilmember Biggs?
Yes.
Councilmember Graham?
Yes.
Councilmember Justin?
Yes.
Councilmember Papadar?
Are we doing the 144 as well? It's up to the motion, second.
Yes,
Yeah, do it.
Okay, I'll vote yes for clarification.
Councilmember Rivas?
Yes.
Councilmember Witten?
Yes.
Councilmember Conover?
Yes.
7-0.
Okay, for fun, let's add the first reading to the agenda. Let's have first reading.
Notice the taxpayers of proposed additional appropriations, notice is hereby given the taxpayers of Porter County, Indiana, that the property of officers of Porter County, Indiana, will meet the Porter County Government Administration Bill, located 155 Indiana Avenue, Rockledge, grant February 2016, at 5 p.m. to consider the following additional appropriations in excess of the county budget for the year 2016, and to transfer any further business that might come to the council. Rainy day fund, E911, 1186, 4510, data processing, 777,360.01. Recorder's perpetuation fund, 1189, 1120, hourly, 10,000. 1189, 3130, training and add 2,000. Treasury tax sale fund, 1203, 7950, special services, 2,430. Export center, 4,005. 1110 salaries, a reduction of 2,250. Brinker Cross Grant, 8150, contractual 15,000. Department IIC and Education Grant Fund, 8205, 2110 office supplies, 565, 2410, medical and dental, 1838, 3130 training and ads, 54,416, 3230 postage, 448, 3950 contractual, 880, 4540 other equipment, $6,364. JABG mental health grant from 9126, 3950 contractual services, 32, 830, 23. Parks Community Foundation.
It seemed like we had that much.
9140 contractual services, $2,735. Voter registration grant, Help America Vote Act, Fund 9170, 50 other supplies, $1,000. Taxpayers hearing on such meeting shall have a right to vote thereon. The additional appropriations of funding made will be referred to the Indiana Department of Local Government Finance. DOJ will make a representation of sufficiency of funds to support the appropriation in 16 days of receipt of a certified copy of the action taken during the year beginning with the auditor published on January 27, 2016.
All right, fantastic. I could go back and do that custodial services manager again, but let's go on to voters registration. Help America Vote Grant.
That's right. Good evening, Sarge. My name is Gavin. I'm my co-director of the zone. Back in 2019, I opened up my email and seen that the state, HAVA, Help America Vote Act, was offering grants. My co-director and I collaborated, wrote a grant, and I'm proud to say we were awarded nearly $25,000. Now, this was the current signage we used for voters when they would go to their polling place. This is what we were able to obtain, 275 to be at each, open it up, so double-sided. We're not asking for additional money from the sharks, we're asking for your approval to use $20,000 of the nearly $25,000 grant we obtained.
That's fantastic. That's fantastic.
We did our price checking, we got a very good price, and what's good is, a lot of our poll workers, if they're in school or something, you know the rope, the 60-foot chute. They have no place to tie it, so this will be a dual use. Each polling place will receive 2 of these. So the voters can see where their polling location, what door they go in, and perhaps tie the rope to it, because this is a big election, as you know.
If we gave you more money, could it say vote Democrat here?
Well, that's a picture of Sunday.
I had to ask.
We can do the other side Republican. I'm not responsible.
No, we better keep it the way it is then.
I assume that you've already have picked out a place to hold that much.
Oh, we already have it.
We have space.
It's been delivered, we have it.
All right.
Very nice.
I think that's wonderful. Congratulations.
So we,
I'll make the motion. Which one of you starts? Going to approve our $20,000. Second.
we have a motion and a second on the floor. Roll call, please.
Councilmember Graham?
Yes.
Councilmember Jessen?
Yes.
Councilmember Papera?
Yes.
Councilmember Rivas?
Yes.
Councilmember Whitman?
Yes.
Councilmember Johnston?
Yes.
And Councilmember Stitt?
Yes.
7-0.
I'm impressed because the state has done everything to try to give you to not vote, but you guys are the guys.
How are you? A polling location near you.
That's great. Really good, guys. Thank you. Good work. Good job.
Very good.
Treasurer, tax sale fees. Oh, Michelle, how are you?
Long time no see.
Yeah, welcome back. You can come to every meeting if you want.
I think I will today.
Additional $21,925 to contractual to cover tax sale fees for a 15 tax sale invoice. What's your pleasure?
Second.
Motion second on the floor, discussion?
I got one question.
Yeah.
At the tax sale, the fee is charged to the purchaser? Thank you.
TJ, what's going on, man?
Well, I'm here, I'm not sure. So, okay, any other questions? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Councilmember Jessen.
Yes.
Councilmember Papera.
Yes.
Yes.
Councilmember Witten.
Yes.
Councilmember Conover.
Yes.
Councilmember Day.
Yes.
Councilmember Graham.
Yes.
Thank you, Michelle. Parks and Rec. We have a PTA Brinker grant, additional $15,000 to contractual construction of trail facility. Park Community Foundation, additional $2,735.65 to contractual complete research study for anti-bullying program. What's your pleasure with these additionals?
Move. Second.
We have a motion and a second on the floor as to both additionals. Any discussion? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Councilmember Papera.
Yes.
Councilmember Rivas.
Yes.
Councilmember Witten.
Yes.
Councilmember Conover.
Yes.
Councilmember Day.
Yes.
Councilmember Graham.
Yes.
Councilmember Jessen.
Yes.
7-0.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Walter. Juvenile Detention, GABG Mental Health Grant. How are you this evening?
Hey, how you guys?
Real good. Additional $32,823 contractual grant awarded in October 15, need appropriated by item for continuation of grant. What's your pleasure?
Second.
A motion and a couple of seconds on the floor in discussion. Hearing none, roll call, please.
Councilmember Rivas.
Yes.
Councilmember Witten.
Yes.
Councilmember Conover.
Yes.
Councilmember Day.
Yes.
Councilmember Graham.
Yes.
Councilmember Jessen.
Yes.
And Councilmember Papera.
Yes.
7-0.
Thank you very much. Have a good evening. Health Department, 93.268 Health ICC Grant. Additional $565 to office supplies, $1838 to med and dental, $54,416 to training and ed, $448 to $3230 postage, $880 to contractual, $6364 other equipment. New Health ICC Grant totaling $64,511 for health immunizations. What is your pleasure with these additionals?
Second.
Motion is second as to all the additionals. Discussion.
We doing 144 as well?
Do you want to?
Make the motion.
There's a motion to concur with including your Form 144?
Yes.
And second concurs, I assume?
Yeah.
Very good, then the answer to your question is yes, Bob. Hearing no other discussion, can I get a roll call on the additionals and the 144, please?
Councilmember Witten.
Yes.
Councilmember Conover.
Yes.
Councilmember Day.
Yes.
Councilmember Graham.
Yes.
Councilmember Jessen.
Yes.
Councilmember Papera.
Yes.
Councilmember Rivas.
I do have a question, Dan.
Jeremy.
Did we miss the raise in budget for this position?
Was not missed, it was an auditor, it was just an error.
Okay.
The auditor's
Right.
office, yeah.
Auditor, you're shaking your head one way, she's shaking her head the other way?
It was just an innocent oversight.
It's just an oversight?
We thought that one particular nurse wasn't getting the special rate, but only the $1,000 rate. But after it was all said and done, Patty said, no, all public health nurses get the special rate. So
Fine, done.
it was not part of your adopted budget.
Perfect, fine, so we fixed it. Excellent. Did we already get a vote on this? All right, thank you. That's it, done. Have a good evening. Recorder's Perpetuation Fund. Additional $10,000 hourly from the Perpetuation Fund allocation to be used for 16 as part-time hourly pay for 16, plus there's an additional $2,000 to training and ed funds requested for statutorily required training. What's your pleasure on these two additional requests?
Motion.
We have a motion and a second on the floor. Any discussion? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Councilmember Conover.
Yes.
Councilmember Day.
Yes.
Councilmember Graham.
Yes.
Councilmember Jessen.
Yes.
Councilmember Papera.
Yes.
Councilmember Rivas.
Yes.
And Councilmember Witten.
Yes. How you doing, John?
Good evening and thank you. Doing well.
Good. Have a good evening. Yep. E911, additional $75,000 from the rainy day fund, $77,360.01 to data processing equipment. Requesting additional appropriation to restore funds from state budget reduction. What's your pleasure?
Move, second.
The motion is second on the floor, discussion.
How much is left in that fund?
That was gonna be my question.
I believe that is the balance.
This will close out the rainy day.
So what do we do moving forward?
Well, what other expenditures do we have contemplated at this point out there from the rainy day fund? Anything that you know of?
So we moved overtime out of rainy day into surcharge. So this line item for data processing is the last thing that I have remaining in the rainy day. As you know, that fund primarily replaces equipment that we have on either on a schedule to replace, aging servers, computers, et cetera, but also any emergency replacement. We had a monitor go out the other day. Fortunately, we have extra monitors laying around. We were able to replace that. However, if we did not, this fund would make that purchase.
What projections over the next 12 or 24 months in purchases in the way of technology do you have?
We have a couple of servers that we're needing to replace. There's an upgrade project. I think we're looking at probably about $10,000 maybe.
For this calendar year?
Yeah.
And do you have, is any of that expenditure budgeted, or are you expecting, do you have monies budgeted, or are you gonna be coming back to us and saying, this is something I would have gotten out of the rainy day fund?
That's something.
Let me finish.
Paid out of this rainy day funds, had it been slashed by the state.
Would you pull this fund up?
What's in front of us right now?
Yeah.
That's the entire fund balance, not just the trust fund.
Is that the surcharge fund or the,
So this fund alone.
what was it?
So we started at $77,360.01, and that's exactly what we're doing.
And you're saying there's $10,000 that you have something specifically planned to come from that $77,000 we're transferring?
Well, that's just,
In addition.
that's a couple of servers that we know are on the radar for being replaced. Again, this money has been there for the incidental replacements too, kind of an emergency.
What did you spend out of this fund in calendar year 15?
The fund that's in front of us?
For data processing,
Yeah.
21,000.
Okay. Bob, did you have a question?
The fund that was up behind this one, the $280,000, is that the surcharge fund?
What was the fund that was on the agenda?
Yeah.
Let her, the auditor, I'm sorry, Vicki?
What was the question?
The fund that was up before,
Okay, that was the combined rainy day fund. This is a fund that is shared by two departments. One is E911, the other is the commissioner. And so that was the combined fund.
in addition to the $77,000?
Correct, that's the balance of his portion of the fund.
So it's included in that number?
Inside the 283?
Yes. And what other projected expenses do we have, or what do we budget against the commissioner's portion of the rainy day fund? Anything? Do you know?
Their budget for this year was zero, because they encumbered their remaining appropriations from last year, so they're closing out their rainy day fund as well.
Okay,
That was for the jail business.
gotcha.
So this is the last trip to the well.
Yeah.
Well's empty. Well's empty.
Okay, that sounds like a pretty square deal. Do we have a motion to second on the floor with this?
Yes.
Let's have a roll call.
Councilmember Fitch.
Yes.
Councilmember Graham.
Yes.
Councilmember Jessen.
Yes.
Councilmember Paparad.
Yes.
Councilmember Rivas.
Yes.
Councilmember Whitten.
Yes.
And Councilmember Conover.
Yes.
7-0.
Thank you.
Thank you, Council.
Thank you very much. Investment advisor, discuss and sign investment consulting contract for Cap Cities LLC, Scott.
This is the agreement that was part of the, this contract was actually part of the request for proposal attached to it. You guys have already seen this and approved that. This is just the executed copy. But this is the copy I need the council to execute between ourselves and Capital Cities. The commissioners approved it at the January 19th meeting, and now the council needs to do it.
So this is the exact same contract that we've already seen and the one we selected?
Correct.
What's your pleasure with this contract? We have a motion and a second on the floor, any discussion?
Have you had an opportunity to look at this, Scott?
I drafted it.
Yes, that answers my question, yeah.
Just make a pencil all over.
All right. Can we get a roll call on this contract, please?
Councilmember Graham?
Yes.
Councilmember Justin?
Yes.
Councilmember
Yes.
Councilmember Reavis?
Yes. Yes.
Councilmember
Yes.
Councilmember Day?
Yes.
7-0.
Very good, I suppose we should have second reading?
Pardon me? This one. Yeah.
Let's have second reading.
Additional appropriations ordinance resolution. Whereas it has been determined that it is not necessary to appropriate more money than was appropriated in the annual budget, therefore, be it ordained to by the Citizens Council of Fort County, Indiana, that for the expenses of the tax unit, the following additional sums of money are hereby appropriated out of the funds named and for the purposes specified as such under law governing same. Next, based on the 2005 salary and 1110 reduction of $2,250. Fund 917 America Vote Grant, out of the $5,250. Tax sale fees 1203, contractual $21,925. Park Springs Project, $91,150. Contractual $15,000. First Community Foundation, Fund 9140, $2,735.55. Juvenile Detention Grant, Fund 126, contractual $32,823. Health Department IIC Grant, Fund 8205, total of $4,500. Fund, Recorder's Perpetuation Fund, 1189, hourly $10,000, statement at $3,000, and rainy day fund, 1,291, dash processing equipment, a total of $77,360.91.
What's your pleasure on second reading? With a motion and a second. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Yes.
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 Scott, do we have anything on the attorney's report?
No.
Let's adjourn this meeting and